The sun roughly takes 6 days to move through one hexagram, through one gate. Okay.
Okay.
So within the system, they call these line days, first line day, second line day, third line day. And what it
Mhm.
is it helps you understand the flavor of that, but also it's the energy of that theme and how it's being experienced by the planet, basically, because we're all affected by the sun. Human design reveals who you are energetically and who you came here to be. I'm Dana, human design specialist.
And I'm Haley, the human design newbie. Listen in as we explore how leaning into your authentic self is your ultimate path to success. Welcome to the Human Design High podcast. Let's get into it.
Hello, Haley. How you doing?
Hello. I feel like it's been forever.
It has. It's been too long. How long has it been? It's been a while.
I
I
don't even
mean,
remember the last time we recorded.
not for listeners, but we were super ahead of ourselves there and had all
I
this
know.
productivity and got things done, and now we're back to making up for it.
Barely.
But it's been a busy 2 weeks and more time to come. Busyness. Um,
Yes.
got graduation ceremonies coming up for
Yes.
Lakeland, my niece.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, there's a lot going on, but we'll get it done. We just realized that we might be able to see each other next weekend. So that's
Yeah.
exciting.
No, 2 weekends.
2 weekends, so that's kind of exciting. I get in this weird time what I don't it's not a time loop, but it's like a time crunch where, you know, you keep thinking about the events you have coming ahead because I'm terrible at like actually looking at a calendar. Like I have my Google Calendar and I
Mm-hmm.
have the things in there blocked off that, need to be blocked off. And, when we're recording and, any appointments and all the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't look at it every day. So
I don't
in my
either.
I run the calendar in my head all the time, right? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
always in this like future looking, perspective, which I tend to do that anyhow. And so then I can start to lose track of the days or get ahead of myself. Does that make sense? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so okay,
Yeah.
so best example was working at the flower shop, and
Mm-hmm.
it was Mother's Day week. And so the week before that, start taking orders for Mother's Day and thinking about how we're going to plan out our day because it's a very small
It's a
operation.
lot.
Trying,
I've
yeah,
been there. It's a lot that goes on.
yeah, yeah. You came and helped some too, and
Yeah.
but it would get to the point where I will literally have all my days screwed up wrong in my head. I've been thinking ahead for so long that by the time I get there, I'm already like, I don't know what day it is anymore. And so that was probably made no sense to anyone listening, but I know what I meant.
No, I get it. I get it. My
Yeah.
problem is the opposite though.
What's that?
Is we have a Google Calendar as well, but I don't look at it. I don't look at it at all. But I do also I can have that calendar in my head, but my problem is I'm pretty much only focused on the now. So I'm
Hmm.
not as future focused. So then we'll like talk about things we want to do and Presley may put them on the calendar, he may not or whatever. And then I won't think about it until it's like literally when we were gonna do maybe the thing that's gonna happen. And it's like, oh well, didn't plan anything.
uh, what a luxury. She's like, I'm just in the now all the time. As we should be. That's very good. It's very good. I have a lot to learn there. I'm always trying to get back into the now, get in the now. Which today, that's a nice segue into what we're going to talk about
Oh,
today, in a way.
you're welcome.
Well, because today the sun moved into gate 20, which is
Hmm.
gate of presence. It's kind of in the now,
Oh,
right? Yeah.
oh,
And that is also the first day it moves into the. Actually, what time is it? Oh, it hasn't moved yet. It's going to here in the next half hour while we're talking. Maybe we'll get more present
oh.
while we're here. Um, And so that's kind of what I was going to talk about today is the lunar transit, but more specifically the line days associated with it. So, okay, what does that mean?
You said lunar transit.
Did I? Oh, solar. I'm sorry.
Yes. I was
Solar
like, thought we were
transit.
talking about the sun.
We are. Lunar's a lot faster. Solar
Yeah.
transit.
Okay. Solar. Okay.
Because as we know, since we've all been talking about human design for a while now, and this is what
Yes.
informs the chart the most in your own personal
Mm-hmm.
chart is the sun placements. And
Yep.
the sun has a huge influence on all of us, obviously. I mean,
It's pretty big.
pretty big, pretty much helps us, exist here on Earth. We're in
Yep.
a
Really,
delicate balance
literally
there.
can't live without it.
But also because it is so
Mm-hmm.
large and its proximity to us and the neutrino stream and all that stuff, it definitely its energy informs our
Mm-hmm.
energetic bodies the most. So, um, we have the human design system as the individual where we have the body graph, which is the snapshot of the, in time. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
was. But then, we've talked about before, everything is still moving. We're in this, living, breathing, moving, dynamic system that's still
Mm-hmm.
happening. And so it still has an influence on us each and every day. And throughout the year, the sun moves through all 64 gates of the
Mm-hmm.
hexagram. So it's highlighting all 64 themes in the chart. So, that being said, since it is a hexagram, that means a hexagram has 6 lines. That's the basis
Mm-hmm.
of the whole thing, right? Of
Yep.
your profile and everything else. So,
Mm-hmm.
have a drink of coffee.
Already
Everybody.
finished. Fine.
Mm, that's my second and last, not second last.
I have my first last and my second last.
I can't commit to the first last. No, it's my second and my last. Let's put that aside before we knock it over. It's getting cold now.
Oh,
We talked about that. We like
yeah.
iced coffee, don't like cold coffee.
Hot coffee that gets cold? No, no.
you know. Okay, so lost my train of thought. Okay, so as such,
We just moved through the hexagram.
right, there's 6 lines in the hexagram, and we know
Mm-hmm.
from the episodes we've done on profile that each of those lines, first through 6, carries their own theme. And it's really, really interesting the more you dig into human design and you just want to like geek out on all the little nuances and everything
Mm-hmm.
that you find all these layers. And there's so many layers that I don't even want to get into. I mean, like me personally, I'm like, that's enough. There'll be a lot of talk out there about color and tone and determination, all this stuff, which is another aspect that some people like to teach the variables and everything, which I don't particularly, because it is one of those things that I think gets it just a little too detailed and gets you too in the head thinking about things when you're trying
Mm-hmm.
to. I mean, imagine you're like, oh, I am a emotional generator, 4-1 profile with my variables are my determination, my color, like, I mean, I can't
It's a
we just
lot.
said I can't even look at the whole Google Calendar and keep it straight. If I like had to if I had to make every decision based thinking of like, okay, because all this variable stuff goes into like what kind of food you eat and how you eat it and when you eat it. And I mean, it's all very
Oh.
interesting and a lot of it sounds pretty true. But when you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to like actually live this system and embody it and kind of just observe and see what's happening in the world, like that's just too much to think about, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
that's a lot. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. And so if it's cool for you and you have the space for that in your existence, that's fine. There's lots of great teachers out there, but I don't think I'll ever be really that interested in that. Um
Mm-hmm.
enough to want to feel like I was going to teach anybody about it. I'll look at it now and then. But anyway, so off topic again. uh,
No, it's just giving more personalness to it.
We haven't
Only
moved
that's
into
work.
gate 20 yet, technically.
We are not present.
I'm still over in gate 8. I'm in the last vestiges of, yeah, gate 8. Whew, okay. So, anyways, lots of things here. So, okay. So, there are these other layers which are interesting in the sense that I think they help you gain a better understanding of
Mhm,
the overall themes of these hexagrams and how they work, because gate 20 in line 1, well, we know that if that was your sun placement, that would make
mhm,
your profile maybe a 1-3 or a 1-4. It's like
mhm.
it has a certain flavor to it. We know that because a line 1 personality can be kind of different from a line 5 personality, or 6,
Mhm.
let's say. So, anyways, the sun roughly takes 6 days to move through one hexagram, through one gate. Okay.
Okay.
So within the system, they call these line days: first line day, second line day, third line day. And what it
Mhm.
is it helps you understand the flavor of that, but also it's the energy of that theme and how it's being experienced by the planet, basically, because we're all affected by the sun.
Okay, so I have a question on this, trying to get my head around it.
Okay.
So, what's the gate we're moving into? 20?
Yes, for us. I mean, depending on when people are
Yeah.
listening to this, who knows?
But right now, in this moment when we're recording, it's moving into gate 20. So the sun will be in gate 20 for roughly 6 days. Yes.
Mhm, mhm,
And so when you say move through the hexagram, so the first day that it's in gate 20, it's
mhm,
in line one. Second
mhm,
day, it's in line two. Is that what you're saying?
mhm. Yeah, and it's
Okay.
not
Okay.
like it moves exactly in at midnight,
Right. Right.
obviously. As we said, right now, it's set to kinda move around. Because you think about that, the mandala wheel, the original way that they still do, chart out the human design chart is on that, you know, like you would an astrological chart, it's on the wheel.
Hmm.
And you can see just like they say like the
Clock.
clock. Well, I was gonna say the minute hand of a clock. It chick chick chick.
Hmm.
You've got
Second hand.
yes.
We know clocks.
I'm the one that grew up looking at analog clocks. You're the digital age, and I'm like, tick tick tick. Okay, got it. Yes, and so it's like, yeah, it's like the second hand on the clock clicking through each gate. So
Okay. I
it's
just want to
short.
make sure that I was understanding the moving, because it's moving through two things basically at the same
Yeah.
time.
And
So,
also remember, as the sun moves, the earth is also across on the other side. It's what they call the
mhm.
programming partner. So, um, this is something that is easy to see if you have a subscription to Genetic Matrix.
Mhm.
It's a place you can also get free charts. You can get a free chart on my website. Obviously, you can also get one there, but it is at the subscription model that they have the calendar, week, and day view that shows you exactly where really all the planets are. You can
No.
also buy something called, it's a human design ephemeris, and I will put that link in the show notes. Human design ephemeris by Zen Human Design, I believe. And I think the one that's currently out might go to 2025. And that will
Mm.
also show you where the sun, well, all the planets are and what gates they're in. And
So you could like flip to any given day through
mhm,
the end date of the book
yeah,
and see where the planets are. Oh, that's
yeah.
cool. That's
And
cool.
and then on the genetic matrix one, it calculates it specifically to anybody's chart. So the only thing that does in a more detailed way would show like individual, like if I was working with a client and they wanted to like long term, if we were working on a certain thing, we could be like, okay, well, we know that this is probably a good day for this is a good day for that kind of thing. So it's kind of mapping out.
A little more
But
personalized.
yeah, but in general, just kind of, you could, there are ways to find where the sun is. So
Mhm.
If you're interested in tracking this, there are ways for you to do it. If not, this can just be some fun information. And maybe you can just kind of play around with the energy of like, you could always go on to genetic matrix. You can see what they call the neutrino weather is for the day right now. So
Mm.
on their homepage at geneticmatrix.com, if you go there, anytime you can see, it'll tell you what exactly all the transits are right now. So you could go right now and see that it's moving. It would say gate 20, line 1 for
Mhm.
the sun. So that's a free way to do it. You just have to go on every day. Um, you get the idea of it. Everybody can count 6, right?
I think so.
So you could just track it on your own calendar. You just might not get, you just might not get the exact moment it switches over because it is a moving target, but it's in
Right.
general. So why is it important? It's because, like I said, these themes are going to be present. They're going to help us learn how to, one, get a better understanding of the theme of that gate, but also it's just kind of interesting to watch how it plays out in your life and ultimately help you move with the energy that's present. So we're ultimately looking to reduce the amount of resistance around us as much as we can.
Yeah. That'd be good for everyone.
Yeah. So let's just dig in there. So I say let's
Okay.
just dig in after I talk for 20 minutes. So
Well,
so the
now we're really
first
getting into it.
yeah. So first line day. First line day. Okay. So what do we know about first lines, Haley, in the hexagram? Haha, you
Okay.
didn't think
I
I was
really
gonna
gotta
put
dig
you on
deep
the
for this
spot.
one. Okay, line 1, it's a foundational line. I
Ooh,
remember
very
that
good.
much.
Oh, you came out
Um,
hot.
yes, and line 1s, they love to gather their information.
Mm-hmm. So all you gotta
I
do is think about
forget
your mother, right?
or my husband,
Oh, that's right, yeah.
but I don't remember the names of it specifically. The
Oh,
traditional and
well,
quantum.
oh, well, the if you're talking about profile, the line 1 is the
Oh, yeah.
investigator or the resource. But in this sense, line 1 energy, like you said, you're correct. It is foundational information. It's
Mhm.
foundational line. It's the bottom of the house. They always, in traditional human design, it uses the analogy of a house. Like if you're
Okay.
looking at a house, the
Mhm.
foundation, line 1 is the foundation of the house. Okay. You got to have a strong foundation. And so on line 1 days, this is days that's all about research. And it's also about introspection because line 1s are very introspective. They're always looking inward because they are, trying to gather the information. There's lots of questioning. There's lots of curiosity, I guess I would say. It's a lower trigram, obviously.
Mhm.
And it is researching the foundations. I'm not sure if I said that. And it is tend to be seen as line 1 energy is a little more self-absorbed. When you're looking at profile, line 1s are if it's the first line in your profile, it's a personal destiny, meaning it is
Mhm.
self-focused, and that you are going to be learning through your own journey, through your own experience. So what they say about line 1 days is this is not a good day to try and externalize anything. It's not a good day to just go out there and try to start making things happen. It's not about action. It's about
Mhm.
uh researching, studying.
And this broadly applies to everyone regardless of, like,
Yeah, this is
if you have
yeah.
that line in your profile.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. This is the theme of the day. What kind of
Okay.
energy the transit is bringing through, the lunar transit is bringing through. And so, like I
Solar
said,
transit.
did I say it again?
Use that Luna again.
It's a first line day. I'm confused. There's a lot of
That's
confusion.
why I'm here.
Thank you. Details. Correction. 1858 coming in hot.
Solar transit.
Solar. I just like saying lunar. Apparently, it just rolls off the tongue. Solar
I
transit.
mean,
My bad.
we have talked about how much we love the moon.
We do. So there is some can be some confusion on first line days because confusion, curiosity, wondering prompts research. We know this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um,
Mhm,
and so it's a day to not try to rush into anything because you might not know, how things are going to work out, how things will get done. You may want to jump right in and get into action, but it's a day for patience. So, in the example of like, say you decided that you were wanting to go buy a computer or something, this would be a good day to lay the groundwork, do your research, do some comparisons, think about it. This wouldn't be the day to go and try and buy the computer. Not a good day for that. Um,
okay.
and yeah, so it's a day for kind of being more inward. And really, if you think about the first three lines, the first 3 days of transit, it's generally going to be that. These are more internally focused days, not
Mhm,
externalizing. So it's better to wait later in the the week as you follow these transits, if you're going to start following them, to maybe more consciously think about doing the external things later in the week, if that makes sense.
okay. Yeah.
So gate 20, in terms of gate 20, this is in quantum human design, it's the gate of patience. In traditional,
Mhm,
well, in the I Ching, it's called contemplation. In traditional human design, it's called metamorphosis. And so, really, it would be contemplating, maybe asking yourself more questions about, what your relationship is, about presence and being, in the now, and
mhm.
some of those themes. It's going to be more of your own experience with this theme on a line one day. Okay. So, and again, remember, these are the sun lines. So everybody is experiencing some version of this. It's all going to be in gate 20. It's kind of crazy when you think about it because, I mean, it's not so crazy. We're just not so tuned into it as maybe
Mhm.
the ancients used to be, of how the heavens were affecting us. But, I think it's so funny now in this day and age. They want to call all this stuff like, you know,
Crazy.
crazy or woo
Outlandish.
or fantastic. Yeah, like you're nutso if you pay attention to like planetary and nature cycles.
Yeah.
It's like, but this is what kept us alive for millennia, is paying attention to cycles
Mhm.
and adapting and living in communion with it.
Yeah.
What do we know? We're just women. Anyways, we're just cyclical
Anywho.
creatures. Okay, line 2 days.
Okay.
So line two, also lower trigram. You should have some
Yes.
familiarity with the line two.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they are kind of reclusive and have to be drawn out at the
Mm,
right times.
very good. Very good. Yes, it is also a inward focused energy, like you said, but it's
Mhm,
not so much introspection. It's not really interested in finding solidity in the foundation. It's like, hey, it just is what it is. It's just interested in what it is. You don't
mhm.
not really searching for meaning. It's just there. Like you said, it is a natural, well, they call it the natural, right? Um, and as you said, this second line in general is not like in a person. The second line is not really aware of the quality that is there within them. That is their uh, natural genius, but it is visible to others, just not the person who has it. And so, um,
Can confirm.
can confirm. So, as we're talking about second line profiles and people, as you said, they don't really know it's talented until someone else points it out and brings it to their attention. That's why it's called a projection field. It's a
Mm,
projection line. People project onto it. You don't see it as a line two, but other people can see it.
mhm,
So as such, for a transiting line, transiting energy, it does feel a little closed off, a little restrictive, kind of a hermiting type of day.
mhm,
Resistant, wants to be left alone, right? Just
mhm,
kind of in the process. And but we do know also from the line twos, the hermit, that they think they can be completely closed off, hidden, but energetically, there's always going to be this little crack that makes them just a little bit visible to those outside of themselves. And that's how they get recognized and called out into the world. But most of the time, line two is kind of blind to the outside world. They don't really want to deal. Does that relate, Hermit?
It's
Yes. So, but then when they are called out, they can then recognize that quality in themselves and then bring their true talent out, okay, and have impact. So, important thing with a second line day, there may be this, like I said, it's still more of a inward focused day, and
mhm.
it's really if you're feeling the pull to externalize, it should only be externalizing something that someone else calls out of you. Let's say someone recognizes something in you, and it gets kind of pulled out of you. That's more of a okay thing to do on a line 2 day. Okay, so how that works is that others may notice the impact of the transitioning energy on you or on others and not themselves or yourself. Does that make sense? So like kind of everybody's experiencing this line 2 energy of
Mhm.
not really understanding the impact of the theme on themselves, but seeing it in others and calling it
Yeah.
out in others, bringing
Yeah.
it to their attention.
I get it. I got
And
it.
it's something you can't force. It's a projection field. You can't force the projection. It's in control of the other. So it's like, this is not a day to try and force recognition. And if you're not getting any recognition, you really feel like you want it, you just have to maybe understand this is the energy of the day and it will pass. It'll shift to a third line and a fourth line and so on. And so just kind of, I don't know, go back in that cave, retreat a little bit,
Wait it out.
just wait it out. Okay, so on the third line day, still in the
Mhm.
lower trigram, right? But it's getting ready. The third line energy is kind of a restless energy because it wants to
It's
shift.
isn't it? It's another foundational one, right?
Well, mm-mm.
Kind of.
No, the fourth line is, but the third
Oh.
line is this it's getting ready to move. So in the house metaphor we were talking about before with the line
Mhm.
one
Mhm.
being the foundation, the line two, if you were going to look at a two-story house, because you got to have line two is that bottom floor window.
Hmm.
Curtains are, open.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
The curtains. Okay, I get it with the curtains. The
Yeah.
curtains are open to line two. They're in their
The
cave, quote unquote,
mhm.
but people can still
Curtains
see
are
in. I
open.
got it. I
People
was like,
walking
where
by.
what is this?
Exactly. People walking by.
I got it.
It's a window. You're inside, but people can see you, right? And they can be like, "Hey, you, what are you doing there?" And you're like, "What?
You're like, don't ring my doorbell.
I should close my curtains." Energetically, you cannot close the curtains. There's
But no
always going to
matter
be a
what,
crack.
I was gonna say there's always a crack when you close curtains.
That's right. That's right. Okay. So the line 3 day.
Yes.
You were asking, no, it's not a foundational per se.
Mhm.
The line 3 is this transitional space because it's the energy is moving up through the hexagram,
Mhm.
and it is going to be transitioning from the personal to the transpersonal, they call it. So
Mhm.
there is that movement starting to happen, but it's not really predictable because it's like, oh, what's going to happen? So line
Mhm.
3 days are days to be observant on what's happening out there. And in the house analogy, it's
Mhm.
like the staircase, it's the internal staircase,
Mm.
right? It's shifting up. It's not there yet. It's in transit, basically.
Mhm.
And so um, line 3 days can be those days that can be a little challenging energetically because it can be a day where the unexpected happens, where there's
Mhm.
surprises. It could be, somebody was explaining, they said, line 3 days are very dangerous. And I was like, I don't really want to put that out there that they're
No.
dangerous. I mean, just be a little more
Yeah.
attentive on the
Well,
line 3
because
day.
because the line in line 3 is very much
Mm-hmm.
about, like, getting your hands dirty, trying new
Mm-hmm.
things,
Mm-hmm.
failing, seeing how things go. So, I
Mhm.
mean, it's, I don't think dangerous.
Well, the thing is the shocking things can happen on a line 3 day, um, and because its frequency brings impact. It's meant to, kinda change things, move things from, the lower to the upper,
Mhm,
and so there is this kind of shifting energy that can occur, but it's also, if we remember in line 3, is also about, discovery, like you said, it's getting your hands in the clay, it's mixing things up, seeing what happens, see what comes out,
mhm,
so there can be, shocking surprises that could be also very positive, very,
mhm.
nice. Doesn't always have to be bad. Not
Yeah.
all negative impacts. But it's just a good day to be more aware and observant on this day. And also to remember that third line people profiles are
Mhm,
designed to be adaptive because there is no surety of an outcome. You've got to experiment, you've got to try it, you got to see what happens, right?
mhm,
And so as such in that day to try to remember to be more adaptive and because it gives you the opportunity to take advantage of whatever it is that might occur.
mhm,
Because if you're kind of plodding along, you're stuck in one direction, you're not ready to be adaptive, something shocking can come up, but I like to think everything's for your own eventual progression, right?
mhm.
So it's how you adapt, how you change, how you react to the things that occur that day. Because they can still be, valuable even if it's not exactly what you think you want at the time,
Mhm. Right.
you know. Like it says, it's what I think it's at the beginning of A Course in Miracles. This is A Course in Miracles. Um it says that this is a curriculum that everyone will undertake. It's just a matter of when. Meaning we're all going to learn these lessons eventually. It's just a matter of when and how long it's going to take us.
Yeah.
Be adaptable. Don't be so resistant.
Mhm.
So what's really good on a third line day, like I said, is to be
Uh-huh.
observant and really, really, really pay attention to your strategy on this day to make sure you're only, you know, following your strategy and authority, that you're responding if you're sacral, yes or no, if you're not going out there again and trying to get things to happen, especially if you're, well, any of the types, except for the manifester, really.
Yeah.
Uh, and be aware that you may have plans that day, but also realize that, I don't know, things might change.
They
Don't be
could
so
change.
upset about it. And if and when they do change, instead of getting all bent out of shape about it, say, oh, okay, what is this here to teach me? What am I here to
Mhm.
learn? What can I make out of this? Let's make some lemonade.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
fourth line,
This is a foundation.
it is.
And I bet I can guess where we are in the house.
Where are we in the house?
We are on the floor of the second floor.
That's right. And it's the foundation of what it means to be in a relationship because it's the upper trigram. So it moves from that personal introspective
Mhm,
looking to looking outwards and externalizing. So fourth line days are fantastic days to externalize, to really
mhm.
get out there. And, fourth line is also known as the opportunist, the networker. This
Yep.
is the importance and the value of your relationship. So
Mhm,
there's a lot of potential here on fourth line days because you have the opportunity to really externalize all these things. So you've been, spending the first couple days in this energy of what it means to whatever that theme is that the sun is moving through. And now
mhm,
it's going to move outward. So it's a theme of friendliness. It supports interactions with other people. That's what it's all about. And so these are definitely days that would be easier for you to do business, easier to get your message across to people in
make
relationships. Just
friends.
like, yeah, like let's all circle those line 4 days on our chart.
Yeah. That
And
sounds
be
pretty
like,
cool.
I know. I know. And it is. They're kind of the golden day of the whole thing. I mean, I may be partial being a line
I
4.
was gonna say, you got a little line 4 in your profile there.
But let's just say it's a good day to get out there, buy that computer, but only if you're doing your research. Because remember, these are all building on each other. And so
Mhm.
if you get to that line 4 day and you haven't taken the time earlier in the week to do the more inward process on things, and then you do try to externalize without building your first foundation of research there, it might not work as well for you. But, you know,
Yeah.
just something to experiment with.
Mhm.
Okay. So line 5, fifth line days. Here's where it gets a
Yes.
little murkier.
Yeah,
Fifth
those
line.
line 5s.
Good.
Well, I was gonna say I'm gonna guess, but we kinda already touched that. I think you already touched that it is another projection field.
It is another projection field. So where is it in the house?
Let's see. It's not quite the same as the line 2, like, probably some kinda still window metaphor, but a little bit different because 'cause they're kind of more like a mirror than a window.
That's so awesome. I love that you figured that out because it is. It's a window, but the curtains are drawn. And
Okay.
it's really, since you're, if people were looking at the upper floor window, curtains are
Mhm.
drawn, what can they do? They can only speculate what's happening up there.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't really know. Only the fifth line
Mhm.
inside there knows what's really there. And that's such a great explanation of that fifth line energy. It's like
Mhm.
they may be down there saying, well, I think the person that is going to help me with that is up there in that room, but they may not be that person.
Mhm.
So it is a projection field. You're right. It is a transpersonal energy. It involves others. But for a person with the fifth line, as we just said, people project onto them what they think they see, what
Mhm.
they hope is there, but it's not necessarily always true because only the fifth line really knows. And so with a fifth line transit day, people will be universalizing, all of us universalizing, bringing out, externalizing the quality of that gate theme, but in a practical way, if that makes
Okay.
sense. Because fifth line is all about innovative but practical solutions. It's about showing us what it is exactly that what we need to uh, do, correct, fix, that kind of thing, solutions. But like I said, they're not just fanciful solutions. They make sense. They're practical.
Mhm.
So it's a good day to do practical things, to get the things checked off your to-do list, things that are not a wasteful use of your energy, right?
Mhm.
You can get out there and do things in the world, but just make sure there's a purpose really to them. Good day to take care of tasks, maybe, finally decluttering or running the errands or doing the things you have to do in life. It's a good day to
Mhm.
to get out there and do that.
Okay.
And so it's it's also, since there is this projection field around the fifth line, it is also a day when people around you, all of us, maybe um energetically, unconsciously at times, pushing our own agendas and
Mhm.
kind of projecting onto other people. So what's important to remember here as somebody who's looking at human design, learning about human design or any kind of personal development is to remember that the majority of the planet is not doing this. They are not learning this stuff. They are just
Yeah.
going along. And so, as such, most of the people you interact with are really operating more in that not self
Mhm.
experience of life, unfortunately. And we can navigate that. We can get through that as long as we know ourselves and we know what's going on and we know, especially on fifth line days, what is our stuff and what is someone
Mhm.
else's stuff.
Yeah.
That's important. And if you start to feel a certain day that everybody is just coming at you, I don't know, maybe go look at genetic matrix and be like, oh,
Mhm.
it's a fifth line day. All
Mhm.
right. I'm just gonna go run my errands and then I'm gonna go back home and I'm gonna draw the curtains. I'm just gonna stay right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Um, Yeah. So, anyways, they could be projecting things onto you that may not be true, may not be practical, may not be a good use of your energy. So, get in, get out. That's also the fifth line thing. Get in, get out. Let's just wrap it up
Yeah.
here. Um, Also, interesting thing
Mhm.
to note, we haven't talked about it too much, but
Mm.
the fifth line can have this somewhat energetically seductive quality to them because it
I think
does,
we've kind of touched on that before. It
yeah.
because people see the potential and it
Hmm.
draws them in, right?
Yeah, they energetically feel something from the fifth line that they want. So if you have some of your own agendas, maybe that you need to get across, this would be a good day to maybe with a little charm, a little, hey there, a little
But
nicety,
not
maybe,
malicious.
or
No
manipulative.
maliciousness. Yep.
No, might be a good day to be a little nicer as you try to get your agenda across.
I mean,
Anyways,
we could all be a little nicer any day.
yes. So, anyways, okay, 6 line day. Where's the
Hey.
sixth line, Haley?
I'm gonna say it's the roof.
Correct. The 6th line is on
Yes.
the roof.
Which even more poignant for the triphasicness.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the 6th line is on the roof with a bird's eye view of the house next door, the house down the street, so on and so forth. The 6th line is always looking outwards to what's next. That's what they do. Looking, it's really looking to the energy of the next hexagram. So they say that really the 5th line day is kind of the completion of that energy of that hexagram because the 6th line is still there, but it is also this transitory kind of transitioning, I should say, energy that is looking forward and moving towards the next hexagram. Does
Mhm.
that make sense? Like I said, they're up there. They're like, okay, we've gained all this. What's next? That's the 6th line. And so, what's interesting is I say in the experience of the 6th line is more of a evaluation, a more of a contemplative looking back. Okay, what did what happened this week? What did I learn? What was going on? What can I carry forward with me? Type of thing. It's
Mhm.
evaluation day. And what's also interesting, if you are yourself a 6th line, how you experience 6th line days can also vary depending on how old you are because of that
Mm, mhm.
triphasic lifestyle. So the teaching is that a 6th line that is before the Saturn return in that first phase of that triphasic life,
Mhm.
you experience it more with that line 3 energy. So
Mhm.
not everybody is going to have the experience of just kind of contemplating and looking back. There's still going to be people that are like feeling like line 3 energy on that day. So just something to kind of pay attention to, look around. There might be more for line 6s, more days of uh, getting messy than evaluating, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the rest of them, the ones over 29 and beyond, they're a little more aloof. They're definitely pulled back on those days of just kind of observing and contemplating. Okay.
Okay.
So, in summary, in summary, line 1 days, great days for doing research, asking questions, creating a plan.
Mhm.
Line 2 days are days that we can just wait to be called out to do something by someone we know. So, not initiating. Again, if somebody calls you out for something, okay, use your strategy and authority.
Mhm.
3rd line days, days we have that experimenting, trial and error, could be shocking things occur, surprises, learning how to be adaptable. Just be a little more careful on 3rd line
Mhm.
days. No rushing around too much on 3rd line day. Pay attention. 4th
Mhm.
line days, great days for getting out there, interacting with people, doing all the things you've been wanting to do. Very, very, I see 4th line day as the golden day. Did I say that
Mhm.
already? I think I did.
Yes.
Anyways,
Mhm.
sorry. 5th line days, there can be that projection, great days for something practical, tasks, get them done, get in, get out. Six
Don't hang
line
around
days.
too long.
Right. 6 line days, good days to rest, relax, reflect on the week and what's coming up next week. And just kind of be around that energy of just what happened this week and what did I learn? So
Mhm.
that's my little trip through the lines of the solar transits.
There
Now
you go.
also remember there's the solar transit, as I said, and I didn't quite say it not long enough, detail enough, with that programming partner of the earth
Mhm,
energy. Because you notice if you look at charts long enough, you're going to see that there's always going to be this pairing between the sun and earth of the same two
mhm,
gates, whether they're on the personality or design side. The pairing partner here for the gate 20 is gate 34. So when it's in, the sun is in gate 20, the earth's going to be in gate 34, which is also
mhm,
manifesting generator channel. So that means
mm,
all the babies born during that time, they're all manifesting generators. And but also it means that everybody is kind of experiencing that energy of want to move quick, get in there quick, all this
mhm,
quick. And so it would be a good time to on that theme in particular with the sun and 20, with that patience and everything of like, okay, let's slow it down a little bit here. Those are
mm,
how you work with those themes, is because there's going to be this tendency in the on the planet for everybody wanting to get into action fast and just kind of move fast and do it right. But there are going to be days within that transit where you do not want to do that. So you're learning about how the solar energy expresses, but also how that earth energy expresses, which 34 is the gate of power, personal power. So
mm,
anyway, it's just something to play around with. Um, yeah. So any questions about any of that?
mm. No, I kept every time you said line of the day, I
Mm-hmm.
kept thinking soup of the day. It's
Maybe
really
you'll have to
stupid, but I did.
come up with your own soup of the day. What's an introspective line one? Soup. Soup. Soup.
Soup.
All right. Okay, so as I said, you'll check out the show notes. There's links to the ephemeris, but also if you are someone who is interested in learning all these things that human design has to show you, and you like geeking out on details and going deep and getting kind of lost, the genetic matrix, the um, subscription membership or whatever they call it,
Mhm,
subscription, right? Oh my god, I totally lost thought. Um, they do have different tiers. And you can get a subscription just for a day if you want. You can dig around in there
mm.
for a day, but I think you'll be lost for a while. Monthly, yearly, there's options, and it's not expensive at all.
Mhm.
And like I said, if this is something you're really interested into and you want to know like everybody that you ever meet's chart, you can store them in there. I mean, you can run multiple charts on my website too. That's fine. But this is a really more if you're looking into like somebody that's wanting to maybe pursue um, using it with clients, or maybe even, you know, becoming like a human design reader, any of that stuff. It's definitely a great
Mhm.
resource. I highly, highly recommend. And they're always adding things. And so, anyways, that's good. All right, Haley. So I'm gonna wrap that up for today. And I hope you have a good line one day.
Yes.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Well, you made it all the way to the end of today's episode, so you must have liked what you heard. If you did, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode, and perhaps leave us a good review. And if you know someone who wants to dig into all things human design with us, make sure you share the Human Design Hive podcast with them. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks for listening.